Okay, I'm Mark Zibera, political writer at the LA Times, with some takeaways from tonight's PBS NewsHour Politico debate here in Los Angeles. Starting with the fact that it seemed we almost had two debates. The first hour was really pretty, what word would I use? Kind of a little dozy. Everyone was making very nice with one another. It seemed they were all in the holiday spirit, goodwill toward man, and all that kind of stuff. And then it kind of broke open in the second hour when Elizabeth Warren, the senator from Massachusetts, went after Pete Buttigieg, the young mayor of South Bend, Indiana, regarding a recent fundraiser he had up in Napa with the now infamous wine cave. So that set off a whole back and forth about donors, about billionaires, about supposedly being beholden to fat cats and the like. That exchange probably struck the most sparks of the night. Several others jumped in, and a lot of talk about wine and wine caves and crystal and all that sort of stuff, until Tom Steyer, who happens to be a billionaire, said the person who probably is enjoying this discussion more than anybody is a certain well-to-do resident of the White House. And that cut it off pretty quick at that point.
So the mayor just recently had a fundraiser that was held in a wine cave full of crystals and served $900 a bottle wine. Think about who comes to that. He had promised that every fundraiser he would do would be open door, but this one was closed door. We made the decision many years ago that rich people in smoke-filled rooms would not pick the next president of the United States. Billionaires in wine caves should not pick the next president of the United States.
Mr. Mayor, your response.
Something else notable was the lack of California love, if you will. I mean, the whole reason for this debate was the fact that California has moved its primary up to March 3rd. We're going to be the big enchilada, as they say, on Super Tuesday, when 14 states around the country vote. So candidates came out to LA, but you wouldn't really know. There wasn't a whole lot of discussion of California issues. There was a reference to the big fire that destroyed the town of Paradise. Governor Gavin Newsom, who was in the crowd, got a shout out from Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar. But debates are basically television productions that they do on a soundstage. And this one could have been in Kalamazoo, it could have been in Chattanooga, it could have been in Ventura. It really wouldn't have mattered, because you really wouldn't have known that you were in California based on anything that they said, or rather very much that they said on the debate stage.
I very much hope we're not going to have to relocate entire cities, but we will probably have to relocate some individual residents. And the problem right now is that this climate change is an existential crisis. And you are seeing it here in California with the fires that you just had. You saw it in Northern California, as was mentioned, with Paradise. And the most moving video from that, to me, was a 30-second video of that dad driving his little girl through the lapping fires with the neighborhood burning behind him and singing to her to calm her down. We cannot wait to act. There's an Ojibwe saying that great leaders make decisions not for this generation, but 7 generations from now. This president doesn't keep his decisions for 7 minutes. So what I think we need to do, get back into the international climate change agreement. I will do that on day 1.
Joe Biden, I would suggest, had his best performance of the night. I mean, Joe Biden is never going to be the world's greatest debater. And some of his performances have been, frankly, pretty bad. Some of them have been graded on a curve, pretty good. Tonight he was the most solid we've seen him. He was crisp, he was on point, he didn't do that weird sort of word salad-y thing. There was one exchange that was particularly crisp where he was asked about something that President Obama, of course his former running mate and partner in the White House, said, suggesting it was time for old guys to move aside and let a new generation take over. It was suggested that Obama probably didn't run that by his campaign, and Biden, without missing a beat, came back and said, well, he probably wasn't referring to me. And he was just crisp and sure-footed in the way that we haven't so far seen Joe Biden.
Vice President Biden, I'm going to guess that President Obama did not clear that remark through your campaign ahead of time.
And
what do you say to him?
And I'm going to guess he wasn't talking about me either.
Okay.
Number one. Look, I'm running because I've been around. On my experience. With experience, hopefully, comes judgment and a little bit of wisdom. The fact is that we're in a position now, the next president of the United States is going to inherit 2 things. Economy that is out of kilter and a domestic policy that needs to be, we have to unite America, and a foreign policy that requires somebody to be able on day one, stand up, look out, the entire world know who that person is, know what they stand for, and know they know them. And that's the reason I'm running. I have more experience in doing that than anybody on this stage.